guys, what's up? It's Dean. You are about to watch a really fun 53-minute workout focused on improving your shoulder active range of motion, so your shoulder mobility, but we're also going to get full body. We're going to be doing some side planks, we're going to be doing squats, we're going to be doing warrior ones, warrior twos, the whole shebang. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get ready to push deeper into your mobility. Get ready to keep pushing yourself even when you feel like you want to give up. And you will really get a lot of this workout if you do. All right, enjoy the workout. All right, we're going to get started getting your shoulders warm. So I want you to bring your arms straight out to the sides, and we're just going to make some circles. Moving your arms forwards. And if you want, you can turn your palms to face forward. Try to get your chest nice and open here. Press your fingers as far out as you can. Just getting some easy arm circles. And then start to get bigger with your arms. Make sure you're controlling this motion. You don't want to just go, bleh, right? We don't want to just swing your arms mindlessly, but trying to control the motion. And your arms are going to go more forward than they are backward, so don't expect your arms to go just as far backward as they are going forward. That's not how your shoulders work. And then starting to get a little bit bigger. Shouldn't feel any grinding or clicking in your shoulders. It should be comfortable. It should be fluid. If you do feel grinding or clicking, just means you need to work on your shoulders a little bit more. All right, and then let's switch sides. So starting again slow, and now moving your arms toward the back. Palms facing forward. That's going to help open up your chest. If you want, you can even kind of experiment with turning your palms to face backwards or turning your palms to face up. You're welcome to do that. You can stand with your feet just about 6 inches apart, just standing up nice and tall. No need to focus on technique too much right now with the feet. And then again, just starting to make your shoulders, or starting to make the circles a little bit bigger, progressively bigger. Shouldn't be any grinding in the shoulders again. You might find that changing your hands around is going to make your shoulders feel different. And again, I encourage you to kind of turn your palms to face forward, or to turn them up, or to turn them to face down. It's up to you. Got a little bit more here. Going the same direction. I can't remember which way I started. So just keep going whatever direction that you did. All right, and then go ahead and shake your arms out. Relax. We're going to move down to the ground and do some cat-cow. Make sure that the upper back is open as well. So hands under your shoulders, knees under hips. Squeeze your legs toward one another. Inhale to arch your back. And exhale to round. Bringing your head toward your hips, pressing your back toward the ceiling. 5 more of these. Inhaling to arch. Exhaling to round. And in cat-cow, the biggest struggle is working on your upper back and your neck. So as you're inhaling and arching here, I want you to really think about making your upper back longer and then starting to arch that area. So making a deeper arch to the upper back, controlled still, but deeper. So you might want to think of pressing your neck and your upper back toward your chest. That tends to help out. Using a mirror is a really good idea here, just because it helps show you where you are, and most likely you'll see it and you'll say, ooh, I could probably do better if I tried harder. One more breath. All right, and then let's take it back to a child's pose. So we'll get a nice stretch for your shoulders. Knees wide, big toes touch. Press your hips toward the back. They don't have to touch the heels. They just have to go in that direction. And then pull your chest forward. Make your stomach nice and long from your pubic bone through your sternum. Arms are out in front. Arms active. Forehead relaxed. Arms squeezing toward one another. Maybe even pressing your hands into the ground. It's a really good way to get your shoulders active and also to get a nice stretch through your upper body. Always keeping your body active. So not just being passive, especially when we're doing the first part of the workout and the middle. Near the end, you can start to get more passive with the stretches, and because at that point it's more restorative, but especially near the beginning, we want to be active. We want to press the hands into the ground and squeeze your arms toward one another. Using your abs,
We're using your core strength here to help make your back longer or straighter. Two more breaths here, keeping active in the hands. Starting to shift the weight into your index fingers and your thumbs, pressing into the ball mounds of your fingers. All right, and then moving out of that, we're going to go into a low lunge, and we're going to do some more shoulder mobility stuff. So right leg comes forward. Go ahead and lift your left knee off the ground just for a few seconds. Just get that weight in the right hip, get your hips squared forward, get a good lunge, and then set that knee back down. And then from here, you're going to bring your elbows into your sides. You're going to bring your thumbs out like this, and I want you to reach your thumbs toward the back while keeping your elbows in tight. So elbows stay in tight. I'm not letting my elbows come out like this, and I'm just going to press my thumbs toward the back as much as I can, keeping my chest open. And this is working on the external rotators of your shoulder, so your rotator cuff, these muscles right in the back here. It helps to exhale as you're pressing your thumbs back. Again, the thumbs stay in tight. And depending on your mobility, you might go further back than me, you might go a little less far than I do, a little closer than I do, not quite as far back. And the important thing is just to work on the mobility. So really, push yourself, keep the elbows in tight, squeeze the elbows back, lift your chest up, maybe a little bit of a back bend as you're doing this. Inhaling back to the middle, and then exhaling back. Squeezing your elbows in, pressing the thumbs toward the back, looking up, and then back to neutral. And then I want you to do the opposite. I just want you to turn your palms to face out. Keep your shoulders neutral, so I don't want you rounding the shoulders in, but just turn your palms to face out. So we're doing internal rotation here. Maybe reaching the thumbs back, pressing the fingers back. Kind of just doing the opposite of what we just did. Getting a good lunge form here, so pushing down through your front foot, keeping your chest upright. And again, shoulders stay neutral even though you're internally rotating. All right, and go ahead and release, and we're going to switch sides. So now left foot forward, right leg back. I'm going to face you straight on just so you can kind of see what I'm doing with these shoulders if you missed it before. So again, I'm going to press down through my left heel, maybe lift that right knee off the ground just to get my hips square, and then set back down. Pull the ribs up, get nice and tall. Bring your hands straight out in front of you, elbows level, or elbows in tight to your sides, wrist level with the elbows, making 90-degree bend with your arms. And the thumbs are going to face out, and we're just going to reach our thumbs toward the back as much as possible, keeping the elbows as tight as we can, pressing your thumbs back. And we're going to use this with an exhale. So next time I want you to inhale forward, exhale, press your thumbs back as much as you can, pressing, 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 elbows staying tight, and then inhale back to neutral, and keep going. And as you're pressing your elbows back, or you're pressing your thumbs back, I want you to lift your chest up and do a little bit of an arch here, kind of just like you would if you were doing a proper pulling exercise. So when you're doing a row, or you're doing a lat pull down or a pull up, you want to get your chest as big as possible, and you're also kind of arching your chest and making your back as small as you can. So I want you to do that same thing here. In yoga, we don't do a ton of work, or we don't do a ton of pulling work because we don't have a bar. We don't have anything to actually pull. So this is one of those few exercises where you're going to be exercising those muscles that you would do for a pull-up or a row. We're going to do one more after this. Again, keeping the elbows in tight, really pressing back, working on that mobility, trying to get deeper. Last one. Elbows stay in tight, pressing back, pressing back, pressing back, opening up through the chest, engaging the upper back, the rotator cuff, and then bring it back in. And then again, turn your palms to face out, internally rotate your shoulders, the exact opposite of what we just did. Almost like you're turning your palms to face forward, a full 360 turn. Probably not going to happen. Definitely not happening for me. But also keeping the shoulders neutral. Again, just getting the exact opposite of that external rotation to the shoulders. All right, and then go ahead and release and stand up. Toes touch, heels about an inch apart. Bring your arms overhead. Press your palms together, lift up. Exhale to the right. Hips toward the left. Stand up tall, just 3 breaths here. Really pressing your palms together, squeezing your arms back as much as you can. Maybe a little bit of an arch to your back here. Rolling back that left shoulder just slightly so your shoulders are facing straight forward. Get a little bit taller. 1 more breath. And then back to the middle. Breathe in. Exhale to the left, hips to the right. Again, make sure the shoulders are facing straight forward so that right shoulder rolls back just a little bit. Arms squeeze back. Head presses up. 2 breaths here. A little bit taller. 1 more breath. And then come back to the middle. We're going to sit straight into a chair pose here. Arms come out, palms face up. Put the weight into your hips. Push your butt back. Pressing down through your heels, getting that weight into your glutes. Arms are coming up, palms facing up, so we're still working on shoulder mobility here. And arms reaching up, shoulders pressing away from your back, so making those muscles in your shoulders stretch. Keeping the weight back in your hips, so you should be able to look down and see all of your toes. Lift your chest a little bit more, hips back a little bit lower. 1 more breath. And then take a forward fold, hands to the ground, lift your hips, press your thighs back, squeeze your thighs together, and just kind of pedal your feet back and forth here, opening up through the calves, through your hamstrings. And just take about 3 breaths here, just pedaling the knees back and forth, keeping your chest long, pulling your torso forward. So you can still feel your abs engaging. You don't want to round your back here. Always keeping the back, or always keeping control in the core if you're in a forward fold position. All right, and then let's go ahead and come back up. So I'm going to sit down. I'm going to bring my arms all the way up. Lift your arms overhead. Palms touch. And then a little back bend here. Squeeze the arms back. Lift your chest up. Push down through your heels. Squeeze your hips toward one another so my glutes are relaxed, but my inner thighs are engaged. 3 breaths again. Lift your sternum toward the ceiling a little bit higher. Squeeze your arms back. 1 more breath here. And then release. All right, we're going to move into a high lunge. So feet 6 inches apart, top of the mat. Step your left leg to the back. Again, push that right hip toward the ground. Make sure the hips are squared. Pull your ribs up away from your hips. Squeeze your right glute. Bring your arms out to the sides. We're going to stretch your arms now. So we were doing external rotation before, working on the external rotators of the shoulder. Now we're going to stretch them. So I want you to swing your right arm under your left arm. Interlace your fingers however you want, however you can. Maybe you interlace all of your fingers. Clearly, I cannot do this comfortably, so I like to grab thumb to index finger and middle finger, and then bring your elbows up. And keep the ribs lifted. Squeeze your left thigh, sink a little bit deeper. So we are doing eagle arms here. We do want to focus on that shoulder mobility. At the same time, we're doing a lunge as well though, so try to work a little deeper into that lunge. Keep the weight in the right heel. That's going to help you keep the glute engaged. 2 more breaths here. One more breath. And then go ahead and release your grip. Stand back up and bring your left knee up to hip level into a balance. So 1 leg balance, pressing down through your right foot, bringing your left knee up, standing nice and tall. Squeezing the right hip, keeping your shoulders stacked on top of your hips. And then from here, you're going to extend 1 leg forward. Don't jump, but I'm going to hop back just so I'm in the middle of the mat here. And then extend your left leg forward, reach your toes up, press your thigh toward the ceiling. This is a really difficult pose, but it's incredibly, incredibly useful for strengthening your hips. So really reach the toes up, keep that right leg straight. Make sure you're not pressing your hips forward, keeping the shoulders stacked. And then bring your arms up and lift up a little bit taller. 2 more breaths here. Reach the toes toward your shins and then also press your toes up. without leaning back. One more breath here. And then release. Left foot down, release your arms. Switch sides. Left foot forward, step your right leg to the back, push your left heel toward the ground, tighten your right thigh. Pull the ribs up away from the hips, tightening the abs. And again, really push down through that left heel. Make sure that your left glute is engaged. And then don't be afraid to crawl your right foot back a little further. Let's work deeper into your hips. All right, other side now with the eagle arms. So left arm comes under the right arm this time. And you're going to, again, whatever grip you want. I prefer index and middle finger to the thumb. And then bring your elbows up. Your goal here is to feel a stretch through the upper back. So we're stretching the rhomboids, the muscles between your shoulder blades. You also might feel a stretch in the external rotators, right? So that rotator cuff that we mentioned at the beginning. So this is the opposite, or kind of the opposing of what we just did at the beginning with the external rotator exercises. And this workout is going to be themed on that. So we're going to notice that we're moving from one pose to a counter pose. Try to sink a little bit deeper. We're going to do one more breath here. Really squeeze your right thigh. If you're not feeling that stretch, try to squeeze the right hip flexor. That's the area we're stretching. And then up into a standing one leg balance or a standing march hold. Press down through your left heel, reach your right knee forward, bring it up to hip level. Try to do it in one smooth motion, not like I did. Try to do it without bringing your foot to the ground at all. So straight up from the back and then foot up, knee pressing up toward the ceiling. Stand up nice and tall here. Again, I'm just going to scoot back so I'm right in the middle of the mat. Head above your ankle, the standing ankle. Hips right above the ankle, so I'm making a straight line from my heel up to my head, just as if that other foot was planted, except I'm lifting one leg up. That's the only thing that's changing here. And then extend your right leg forward, really squeeze that right quadricep, and squeeze the right hip flexor. Again, this is so important for strengthening your hips. We rarely do this. We do squats, we do lunges, but we never just lift the leg up and hold it. This is building mobility. This is building active flexibility. This is also building a lot of strength in the hip. Again, stacking from the head, the hips, the heels, all in a straight line, and then really lifting up that right leg, reaching your toes back toward your shin, and then going up a little bit higher, lifting your arms, now reaching your right leg even higher, reaching, lock out your leg if you can. One more breath here, a little more core, a little bit higher, reach. And then slowly release. All right, take a step back to the top of the mat, toes touch, palms at your sides, facing forward. Lift up. Exhale, sit down into a chair pose. Hips even, thighs squeezing toward one another, knees touching, butt back, weight in the heels, pushing down firmly through your heels, keeping those knees toward the back. Now pull your chest forward and up. You want to use your core strength to be able to lift your chest away from the thighs, and then bring your arms up, press your arms away from you, turn your palms to face back, and again, we're going to stretch those external rotators in your shoulders. So press your arms forward a little bit more, palms facing up. 2 more breaths here. Sit down a little bit lower, as low as you can, just 2 breaths. And then plant your hands, step back to a plank. If you want, you can jump back to a plank. And then from here, immediately down all the way and into a cobra. Flip your feet, press the tops of your toes into the ground, squeeze your thighs together, squeeze your knees together, tighten your abs, lift using your core strength, squeezing your hips together. Walk your hands back 6 inches, squeeze your elbows toward one another, lift your chest, breathe. 2 more breaths. Look forward, lift your head a little bit further away from the ground. 1 more breath. And release. All right, let's take this back into a down dog. So hands plant, maybe a little bit wider than you have them for a plank. Press back up, bend the knees, shift up and back to a down dog. First down dog of the day. So
Let's take a few breaths to get settled. We're going to screw your hands into the ground, so pressing down, and then externally rotating the arms, so your index fingers face slightly out, just like you're opening a can or a jar. Sorry, not like you're opening a can, but opening a jar. And then pushing your thighs back, squeezing your quadriceps. Try to shift the weight into your core and your hips here. So if you feel like the weight is mostly in your upper body, push your hips back. Try to focus on engaging the abs and the hips, and that's where you should feel the weight of your body. You shouldn't feel it all in your upper body. You shouldn't feel it all in your lower body. It should be hips and core. Start slowing down your breathing. 3 breaths here. And then take it forward into a plank. We're going to move into a side plank. Plant your left hand, roll to the outside of your left foot, bring your right arm straight up in the air, look up at your right hand, press down through your left hand, and lift your hips. Your left leg is actually going to be very active here. So pressing into your hand, lifting up your hips, tightening the abs, making sure your hips and your core, your chest is facing straight out to the side, but then looking up at the hand to work on balance. If you want a little extra challenge, lift your right leg, squeeze your hip up so you're working on the strength of your abductors, your outer thighs. 2 breaths. Keep your hips high away from the ground. And then switch sides. Plant your hand, your right hand, roll to the outside of your right foot. Press down through your right hand, lock out your arm, maybe a little bend to the elbow, and then roll your left shoulder on top of the right shoulder, hips and chest facing straight out to the side. Make sure that you're not rolling the left hip back so that your left hip is behind the right hip, but keep your hips facing straight out to the side. Now use your hip strength to lift your right hip so you're engaging the right oblique and also the outside of your right thigh. And then bring your left arm up. When you're ready, when you've got the balance and the coordination, look up at your left hand and hold. With your right hand, make sure you're pressing into the ball mounds of the fingers, not dumping the weight into your wrist. And squeeze your hips up a little bit higher. Really squeeze your right thigh. 3 breaths here. Make your body nice and long. If you want, lift that left leg up. This is really good for building hip stability as well. Hips a little bit higher. 1 more breath. And then plant your left hand, come back to a plank, step up to a deep squat, give your arms a little break. Sit down, push your heels into the ground, get your butt way back, let your knees come forward as your hips come down and back. Get your hips a little bit lower than your knees. You should feel this in your butt. That's our goal. The butt and the fronts of your hips, or your hip creases. And then bring your arms out, press your fingers away from you, turn the palms to face up, and let's do 3 breaths here. Again, whenever we're in a deep squat and your arms out in front of you, this is an opportunity to work on shoulder mobility. So lift your arms as high as you can, Always pushing, always pushing to go a little bit deeper than you did before. It's not about how deep someone else is going or how well someone else is doing. It's about how well you're doing compared to your personal best in that particular moment. Sometimes we're tired, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we haven't worked out in a week and our body's ready to go. Other times we've done a lot of workout the day before and our body's tired. It's up to you to do your best in that given moment. All right, go ahead and stand up all the way. Press the hips forward, tighten the glutes. Let's go out to a wide stance position. So pushing into the outer edges of your feet, squeezing your thighs toward one another. Pull your chest forward, make your chest nice and big, and into a wide-legged forward fold here. Keep your thighs squeezing toward one another, and start to slow down the breathing. So legs squeeze toward one another, really squeezing those inner thighs together so those muscles are engaged. If you can, squeeze your quadriceps. If you can't squeeze your quadriceps with your hands touching the ground, then grab a block, like so, and use the block. Build that muscle engagement in your thighs with your hands on the block, and then maybe releasing your hands to the ground as you improve your mobility. Also pushing into the outer edges of the ankles, so stretching the ankles. And if you want, you can even push if you want to work on your shoulders here, you can bend your arms and work on pushing your elbows toward the ground to get a stretch through the upper back. So that's one thing you can also do here. One more breath. All right, and then pull your chest forward. We're going to move into a Warrior One series from here. Turn your right foot to face straight forward. Turn your left foot to face in about 45 degrees. Maybe bringing your feet a little bit closer. And then square your hips toward the outside. So I want you to pull your right hip back, pull your left hip forward. I like to have about 6 inches between my stance, between my front and my back foot. So make sure that your right foot isn't pointing right toward the left foot, but it's inside the left foot. And then from here, sink into your right knee, push your right hip toward the ground, getting a nice stretch through the front of your left hip. And then bring your arms up, relaxing the shoulders. If you want, let's go into goalpost arms actually. This is going to help you open up your chest a little bit more. And I want you to really squeeze your elbows toward the back. You might even feel a little bit of a pop or a stretch in your upper back. That's a good thing. It's your spine opening up. So again, arms at 90 degrees, elbows squeezing back, at the same time pressing the elbows out to the sides. So you're really opening up through the chest area here. Sinking deeper and deeper into your hips, bringing your hips further forward, pushing your left hip into your right hip, keeping the back leg straight, making sure that you keep contact with the outer edge of the foot and the ground. All right, and then bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers and press your palms together. Now, if you can't do this, if you notice that your shoulders start to round in like this when you interlace your fingers, grab a strap. You're going to hold the strap about hip width distant behind your back. Those of you who are fine with this, with the fingers interlacing and there's no rounding of the shoulders, interlace the fingers, reach your chest up, like you're pulling your chest up and through your arms. Bring your shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, pull your chest forward, push down hard through your right heel, and look back at your left foot. Make sure your hips aren't going over to the right, but you're keeping them right in the middle. And lift your arms away from your back, really lifting up, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. If you want, you can bring your right shoulder inside the right knee, and maybe even go a little bit deeper into this. Again, really pushing down to the right heel, so you're keeping the weight in your glute and then your hip. Still squeezing your arms up away from the back. Give this one more breath. And then bring your hands to the ground, either side of the front foot. Push down through your right leg. Pull your chest forward, starting to straighten the right leg into a pyramid. Try to pull your chest forward away from the ground, like you're getting your sternum to look at the wall in front of you. Squeeze your right quadriceps, squeeze that thigh. You're also going to feel some stretching through the front of the shin. Just breathing slow and controlled here. A little bit of a break from that humble warrior pose we just did. Yes, that's called humble warrior. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Still trying to square the hips here. So the right hip presses slightly down, the left hip lifts up. All right, and then I'm going to have you bend back into your right knee, pivot. So we're going back to a wide-legged forward fold position. Take a forward fold here, reset your spine, look behind you, squeeze your legs toward one another. Take a half lift. So come up onto your fingertips, pull your chest forward, aim your sternum at the wall in front of you. Tighten the thighs toward one another. Maybe bring your hands all the way up from the ground. Get your abs tight. Stretch your hamstrings. And then fold back down. Allowing your spine to release, but keeping the abs tight. All right, and then bring your hands back to your hips. Pull all the way up, using your core strength. And switching sides. Left foot turns out now. We're going to bring the right foot a little bit more to the outside. So step your right foot out about 4 or 5 inches to the right. Turn your right foot to face slightly in. We're going to aim for about a 45-degree angle here. And then pivot your hips to face straight or in the same direction your left foot is facing. So to the outside, relative to that wide forward fold we just did. Left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward. Left hip presses down, so we want to put that weight into the left glute, just like we would with a Warrior 2 or any lunge. And the right hip lifts up slightly. From here, try to bring your hips under your shoulders, so make sure your hips aren't behind your torso, and then sink into the front knee. Now, depending on your mobility, you might not go as deep as you did before. So we're going to use our breath, we're going to use our muscles here to work deeper into this. So as you inhale, get a little lift. As you exhale, sink. Allow your hips to sink forward. So you're pushing your hips forward, you're squeezing your legs toward one another, you're pulling the ribs up away from the hips, and you're focusing on opening up through the front right of your hip, so that hip flexor. Go ahead and bring your arms up into the same arms we had before, so goalpost arms. And then make sure that, this is a tendency that some of us have, but you want to make sure that your forearms are facing straight forward, even slightly up. Some of us tend to do this because we're used to hunching the shoulders during the day. So make sure your forearms are facing straight forward and not slightly down. And then press the elbows out wide and squeeze your elbows toward the back. Keep your neck neutral and still working on sinking into your hips forward. We're going to do 3 breaths here. You can almost think of pushing your right hip into or toward the left knee to help open up that inner groin area. And then there's an internal rotation to the right thigh. So you're turning that right thigh slightly in to get a deeper hip through the stretch to the outside of the hip as well. Last breath, sink a little bit deeper. All right, and then bring your hands behind your back. Same as before, this time interlace your fingers 1 finger over. So whatever the weird grip is, do that. Reach down with your hands. Make sure your shoulders are up, back, and down, chest open. Pull your chest up and through your arms, breathe in. Exhale and fold. Pull your chest forward, push down through the right hip, push down through the left hip. Keep the outer left foot on the ground. Pull your chest forward, get a little bit of length to start. Keep lifting your arms away from your back. Keep that death grip with your fingers. And then if you want, maybe bring the left shoulder inside the left knee. Crawl your foot forward a little bit more if you want to sink deeper into this. Putting that weight into your left hip. 2 breaths here. Keep lifting your arms away from the back. Keep your upper back engaged. Looking back at your right foot. Still working on that ankle mobility in the right foot. 1 more breath. And go ahead and release your hands. Press down through your hands. Press your left foot into the ground. Start to straighten that left leg. Moving into pyramid. Keep the hips squared so that right hip pulls forward and internally rotating the thigh. Pressing down through your left foot, pulling that left hip back to stretch the hamstring. Squeeze your left thigh and push your left hip toward the ground even more. Make sure you're not rotating the knee. You're rotating the hip. The knee does not turn. Knees bend up and down. They do not turn. They are not mobile. That's why we work on ankle and hip mobility to strengthen the knee, so that the joints that are supposed to move, and the knees don't. Pull your chest forward. Make sure you're trying to get length. 3 breaths here. Every exhale, working a little bit deeper into the hips, maybe trying to square the hips just a tiny bit more. Maybe using a block, if that helps you keep your back flat. 1 more breath. All right. And then pivot back to a wide-legged forward fold. Make your feet even once more. Toes can face slightly in or straight forward. Squeeze your thighs toward one another. Lengthen your spine, keeping the abs tight. Pretty much doing a crunch with your abs. And then pull up into that half lift, pulling your upper body forward, aiming your chest forward, maybe bringing your hands away from the ground so you really know that you're using your abs to stay upright here. And then forward folding, looking behind you. All right, come back up, pull your chest forward, use your core strength, come back upright, and then bring your legs back together. All right, let's do a chair pose. Light chair pose, just kind of to reset your body. So step back to the top of the mat. Toes touch, heels about an inch apart. Sit down, squeeze your thighs toward one another, get your glutes engaged, bringing your thighs back together. So now we're putting the weight back into our inner thighs and the glutes, taking it away from the outer thighs. That's where the stress was in those wide-legged positions. Bring the arms up. Just one breath here. Sit down a little bit lower. One breath. Knees back. And then plant your hands. Take it back to a plank. Step back. Hands under the shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Belly button up. And then take it to a side plank. We're going to go to the right side first. So plant your right hand. Roll to the outside of your right foot. Stack your left foot on top of the right foot. Keep your hips and your chest facing straight out to the side. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Shoulder directly over the wrist. Lift your oblique up. And then bring your left arm up. 3 breaths here. Go ahead and look up at your left hand. At the same time, you're kind of pulling your chest toward your right hand. So you're keeping your body long, making sure your shoulder stays above your hand. Pick your hips up a little bit higher and squeeze your left leg up if you want to challenge yourself. Hips a little bit higher. One more breath. And then plant your left hand. Roll to the other side. Side plank left. Bring your right arm up. Press down through your left hand now. Lift your left oblique toward the sky. Lift your hips away from the ground. Make sure your hips still are facing out to the side. There's a tendency for the right hip to roll back a little bit here. Right arm is up. Lift the hips. 3 breaths. Again, pull the chest slightly forward toward the direction your left fingers are facing. So you're keeping your body long. And then lift your right leg if you want more of a challenge. Really press into the outer edge of your left foot and squeeze your hips up. I've got one more deep breath here. And then lower your hand down. Take it into a deep squat. Sit down into it. Give your arms a little bit of a break. Press your heels into the ground. Bring your arms out in front of you. Lift your arms up. Arms break in a different way. Press your arms away from you. Squeeze your arms back as much as you can. Keep your chest up. Lean your weight back. 2 breaths here. Chest up, lean back. Arms back even more. Last breath. And then plant your hands. Take it back to a plank. 3 breaths here. Press your hands into the ground. Screw your hands into the ground. Biceps face forward. Shoulders plug into your back. Belly button is lifted. Almost grabbing the ground with your fingers. And then slowly lower down. All the way onto your chest. And then this time bring your hands behind your back. Do a full locust with your fingers interlaced behind your back. So interlace your fingers behind your back. If you need a strap to do that, like we did for Humble Warrior, feel free to grab the strap. Reach your hands back. Pull your chest up. Point your legs back. Lift your legs one at a time. Point the toes. Put the weight in your hips. Lift your arms away from your back. Make sure that your knees are facing straight down. And lift away from the ground. 3 breaths here. Make sure your chest is open. Look forward if you can. Make your body as long as possible. One more breath. Arms a little higher, chest up. And release. Woo! All right. And then plant your forearms. We're gonna move into a dolphin from here. Forearms down, shoulder width. Press into your hands. And walk your feet straight into it. Press your thighs up and back. Squeeze squeeze your elbows toward one another to engage your shoulders. Shoulders is, of course, the conjugation of elbows and shoulders. Push your thighs back a little bit more. You're going to feel a stretch through your hamstrings here. You want to feel a weight in your upper back, your core, and your hips. Keep your head relaxed. 3 breaths here. You're going to try and press your chest back more and more to work into the shoulders. Lifting your tailbone toward the ceiling, pressing your thighs back, squeezing your quadriceps. If you're ready, you can release, or I'm going to challenge you to do 3 more breaths here. Thighs squeeze toward one another, thighs internally rotate, knees facing straight forward, chest pushing back, pressing down into your hands, pushing your wrists toward the ground. 1 more breath. And release. Take it into a child's pose. For this child's pose, I want you to turn your palms to face up. Kind of like saying, I surrender, no more. Relax your forehead down. Breathing slowly in and out of the nose. Relaxing your chest. Relaxing the arms. Just getting your whole body to relax here, using your breath to make that happen. That was the last difficult pose we are doing for this workout. We'll start the cool down now. All right, I want you to slide your left hand between your right hand and your right knee, thread the needle. So left arm comes out to the right, pull your left shoulder back toward the left, press the back of your left arm into the ground, press into your right hand, kind of like you're doing a single arm down dog, and then feel the stretch in your shoulders. Use your inhale to help increase the tension, to help work deeper into this. So as you inhale, as you fill up, you're feeling that outer left shoulder get more intense. And as you exhale, working into it. So letting it relax. 3 more breaths like that. Inhaling, feeling your body fill up. Exhaling, feel it release. And switch sides. So now left hand plants. You're going to slide your right hand between your left hand and your left knee, straight to the outside, and then you're going to lightly pull your right shoulder back toward the right, pressing the back of your right arm into the ground. Left arm is straight, forehead faces out to the side. Just breathing in and out of the nose, nice and slow. So your forehead or the side of your head is relaxed on the ground. Your hips are back. You shouldn't be feeling much of a stretch in you shouldn't feel any twisting sensation in your lower back. This stretch is really focused on the outside of the shoulder blade. So the external rotators, the rotator cuff, all that stuff we were working on at the beginning. 2 more breaths here. Let's come back to a tabletop position and just take some restorative cat-cow stretches. So 3 of these, just inhaling to arch, just very relaxing, exhaling around. Couple more.
Last one.
All right, we're moving to a Sphinx from here. Sphinx. So plant your forearms about shoulder width distant. You're gonna reach your legs back, press the tops of your feet into the ground. Engage your hips lightly, so we don't have to engage them like we do for a cobra, but still engage your hips, squeezing your thighs lightly. Bring your elbows in, and then lift your chest. Pull your elbows toward your hips, stretching your abs. If you want, you can kind of lift up and maybe lean a little bit from side to side just to figure out what's tight. And it should be manageable. It shouldn't feel painful in your lower back. You want to have the abs engaged here to protect your spine. At the same time, you should feel stretching through the front of your stomach or through those abdominal muscles. Two more breaths. All right. Take it into a wide-legged seated V. So legs are going to come out wide. Spread your legs as much as you can. You're going to sit forward onto the tops of your, or the fronts of your hips. So make sure that you're not sitting onto your butt, but you're kind of leaning forward onto your hamstrings. You're going to bring your right elbow inside your right knee. I want you to reach your left arm forward, swing it around toward the outside, roll back the left shoulder, and reach. So again, a big stretch through your left side here, tightening the left oblique to keep that left hip pulling down toward the ground, making sure your left hip doesn't come off the ground. And then really reaching with your left arm, getting into a deep side bend here to stretch out. Deeply breathing as much as you can, breathing as deep as you can. I mean, definitely quality over quantity of breaths here. 3 more breaths. You might one day be able to bring your hand to your toes. It might be easier than you think, but you might not get the technique as good in the process. Come back to the middle. We're going to switch sides. Press your left hip toward the ground. Press your right hip toward the ground. Bring your right arm out in front of you. Swing it around to the outside. Roll back the right shoulder. Push your right hip toward the ground. And press your arm away from your right shoulder. Make your arms as long as you can. Roll back the right shoulder. Reach toward your left foot, but don't do so at the expense of your core. So keep your core engaged. Keep your core long. And we're doing a few breaths here. So let's get 3 deep breaths here. Try to stay relaxed through your neck. So you don't need to collapse your head, but you shouldn't feel straining in your neck. Again, try to keep that right hip pushing into the ground. Keep the right oblique engaged. That'll help you get a better stretch to the side of the body. You can kind of use this left elbow inside the knee here, kind of dig that into the knee, and that'll help you roll back the shoulder, get a little more lift. 2 breaths. All right, come back to the middle. All right, we're gonna do one more stretch. I wanna get a nice twist in here. So you're going to come into a lunge, not another lunge, and if you have a wall, come close to the wall. Start with your left side facing the wall. You don't need a wall for this, but the wall is going to help. And then step your left foot up. You want to be pretty close to the wall for this. And then from here, we're going to bring your left arm to the back so that your arm is along the wall. And if you want, get even closer to the wall here. And then bring your right arm to the side and push your left arm into the wall here for a controlled twist. Almost like you're doing a pec stretch. The left hip is pressing toward the wall, pressing toward the ground. Right arm is extending forward. Crawl your left arm back a little bit more if you want to work into that chest. And then you can even look
around to face the back. So you're getting a nice controlled stretch, pressing the top of your head up. Keeping your hips squared forward. And then if you want, lift your left arm away from the wall. Use your core strength to hold you here. Get a little bit taller. 2 more breaths. And then come back and switch sides. So you don't need a wall to do this, but just one way to do it. So now we're going to bring your right foot, your right side is facing the wall. Right foot is very close to the wall. Right hip is pressing toward the ground. Hips are squared forward. Now bring your right arm along the wall. Look over to the wall, bring your left arm out in front of you. Crawl your right arm back, stretch your chest. You can get as close to that wall as you want. Make sure you're pushing your right hip toward the ground and keeping the hips squared. So about 3 breaths here, opening up through the chest. Getting a nice controlled twist for the spine. Staying tall. Maybe sinking the hips forward a little bit if you want to work into your hips. And then lift your right arm away from the wall. A couple breaths here with this with this actively controlled twist. So working more into active range of motion as opposed to passive. 1 more breath. And then come back. All right, and release. All right, so feel free to take any additional stretches you would like. We did a lot today. We worked on twists. We worked on a lot of shoulder mobility, but we definitely had a lot of lower body involved too, a lot of core. So I hope you enjoyed that workout. If you're watching this from the members area, thank you so much for being part of the Manful Yoga community. Make sure to leave a comment, let other people know what you thought of the workout, and if you liked it, add it to your saved workouts. If you're watching this somewhere else, maybe YouTube, Facebook, whatever social media exists, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I put out lots of great content like this on a very regular basis, and I'd be honored at the chance to teach you more and help give you workout tools and resources to help you get stronger. So, my name is Dean, this is Manful Yoga. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.